Live screen turned on. I'm not going to do any visual of me because I'm in no condition. But I wanted to come on here. Like I said, it's been 2 weeks since Rob has passed. Yeah. In that time, I've just been doing a lot of thinking, and I haven't been trading. I haven't traded for like 2.5 weeks. And you shouldn't trade if you're not mentally in a good place to do that. And that's totally fine and a-okay. I just want the Strat community to come together, to work together. I don't want people fighting and butting heads, and it's crazy because I know I can't control that. Hi, Elaine. Thank you. I know I can't control that, but I mean, as one of the leaders in this community, all I can do is my best and try and lead by example and continue on what Rob wanted. And he wanted us, this is what he wanted. He wanted us to learn the strat and teach as many people as we could. So that is what we are going to do. I've had talks with Jermaine. You know, him and I have been doing this for a long time together, and we kind of help keep each other grounded and keep our goals aligned as far as the community. And we care about it a great deal. And it's, you know, it's why we've done what we've done for so long. And Jermaine is a great teacher, and he's also really good for beginners, a great place for people to start if you're new to the strat. So, I guess we'll just kind of get started. I wanted to start with the futures, and in our community with me and Alex at Stat Trading, we always start with the futures and then kind of get a directional bias for what we think the overall market is going to do. And then that kind of like trickles down into just individual tickers and sectors. So hang on just 1 second. And I really wanted to talk about the futures because what happened last week should have been expected. And I'll tell you what I mean by that when when you really get into the charts and you start looking left and you find potential areas for exhaustion reversals. Even though the news likes to come in when it comes in, the news comes in at the perfect technical price. And I'm going to show you what I mean here in a second. So what we have here is the futures. We got ES, so SPY, whatever, NQ, NASDAQ, RTY, which is IWM. And this is the weekly chart of all of them. And I wanted to show you guys something because if you're super zoomed into your chart, you're not going to be expecting this because you don't know when you're at potential exhaustion. So in the strat is not just the strat combos like a 2 up, 2 down, right? You have to know why you would want to take this. And the reason why you would have wanted to take this last week is because let's make it big and we're going to look left. So when we get into price action that we haven't seen in a long time, so we're obviously at like 52-week highs. If you're using the current month's contract for futures, you're not going to see these levels because they just don't show up that way because the contract didn't exist way back over here. So if you scroll left, you're going to see this very prominent and important pivot high. Whoops. And so in the strat, we know that pivot highs when we're long, so like say none of this existed yet. When we're long, a pivot high is a main target of ours to the upside. So as we're going up, we're anticipating we're going to hit this level. And this level, if you look over here, it's the little pink label. It's 46.31. So once we hit that to the upside, that means that we're at potential, and we always say this word, we always say potential exhaustion risk. And it just means be on the lookout for a reversal, because if price is going to reverse or have corrective activity or a pullback or what have you, it's going to happen after we take out a main pivot, which puts us at exhaustion risk. Now, when we say be on the lookout for a reversal, you know what reversals look like. Rob showed us what reversals look like. Because there are only 3 candle types, 1, 2, and 3, there's only a finite amount of ways that price can reverse. And we know what those are. Basically, there's only 3. You have a 1 bar rev strat, which is an outside bar. You have a 2-2 reversal, or you have an inside bar and down reversal. That's the only 3 ways that price can reverse, and we know that. So knowing that we're at potential exhaustion because price took out that main pivot, that puts you at exhaustion risk. And so that means once you've hit that price, we're looking for a reversal, and you got it. Hold on, I'm trying to get my cute little template. Trigger weak. So you got what? You got a 2 up, 2 down reversal at exhaustion. So that's actionable. Yes, it's against higher time frame continuity, but it is okay to take counter continuity trades only, and this is so important, only if you're at exhaustion risk. You cannot just short. Like if we were here and you got a 2-2 reversal, I would say don't take it. Like right where my crosshair is, I would say don't take it. You don't have a reason to take that short. We know that price wants to go and stop people out and then reverse. So you have to wait for that. And then if you go to the daily, we actually had like a warning shot. I can't remember what there was something this day. I don't remember what it was. It was like PMI, CPI, FOMC. It might have been FOMC actually. That was kind of like the warning shot. And then the reversal happened. And I want to zoom in to a smaller time frame so you guys can see exactly. You could see the exact hour that they were like, all right, we're done to the upside. No, the credit downgrade was this day. It was the gap down day when the market gapped down. That was that day, which triggered. It's so funny. Their timing, their USA credit, what did we go? We went from like 3 A's to 2 A's, triple A, whatever. But it's so funny the timing that they did it. And we always say that price precedes news because it does. If you know what's happening, if you knew that you were at exhaustion risk up here, you would be waiting for something like this to happen. Because you know why. You know why all of a sudden it's going to be time to short a weekly reversal. So, all right. So that was the credit news. So we're going to go into the hourly. You can see my exhaustion line. Hold on. I'm trying to get it pretty. And I always say this at Stat. What do we love to see at exhaustion risk? We love to see an inside bar at exhaustion risk. And why is that? Hold on, let me see if I can pull up. 1 second. I'm trying to get we'll go with the old school one. What do we love to see at the top or at exhaustion? We love to see an inside bar. We love to see a 2-1-2 reversal, right? And that's exactly what you got. You got an inside hour and down at exhaustion risk. So you want to take this every single time. It's the only, like I said, it's the only acceptable time to go counter higher time frame continuity. Otherwise, you're trying to swim upstream. But if you have exhaustion on your side, you're good to go. Make that a little bit bigger. And then for those of you trading ICT concepts, so I do ICT as well as Strat. And the reason is it's because they're the same thing. And I cannot stress this enough. Michael Huddleston and Robert Smith had figured out price action. They figured it out. It's all the same crap with different words. You take out one side of the range. So if you're an ICT trader, you're going to go and take out buy side liquidity, which is the top of our broadening formation. And then we look to go take out sell side liquidity, which is the bottom of our broadening formation. So those two men have so much of my respect because they were like, this technical analysis stuff is completely subjective. It's completely based on a single time frame. And there's so many similarities between the Strat and ICT top-down analysis, starting at the higher time frames, getting your bias. It's just all the same stuff because this is really how price action works. So even if you're an ICT trader, you're going to know that you're at, so his version of exhaustion risk is like terminus. It's like where price is trying to go to. So that's his terminus is our exhaustion. So once we've hit that, that means you can start to look the other way. And then if you're an ICT trader and you didn't take the 212 down right here, that's fine. You would have waited for a market structure shift. It's all the same stuff. You would have waited for a market structure shift on the hourly, which would have occurred right here. You would have waited for your 2022 model, which is a fair value gap entry. And if you don't know ICT, don't worry about anything that I'm saying because you don't have to learn ICT to know the strat and to know what to do. Okay. But if you're an ICT trader, you know you're going to enter in here and you're targeting here at least. So anyway, I really wanted to talk about ES because it was just such a beautiful technical reversal that had a little sprinkle of bad news on top of it, which only does what? It just makes our downside happen so much faster and beautifully, and everybody, gets excited. And I don't know how long you guys have been following me, but I prefer to play to the downside. I prefer to be a bear because fear happens faster than just greed, dilly-dally. Boop, 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 boop. So I prefer to play to the downside. But that doesn't, I play what we get. I prefer downside, but I can play both. And that's another beautiful thing about the Strat and ICT. We don't care. If you're a trader, we don't care what direction it's going. We just want it to move and move hopefully quickly, right? And thank God we got a reversal because the VIX has just been slowly dying and just killing me. Hold on, load layout. So the VIX, and I've been trading since crypto in 2017, but the market since 2018. And I've been really blessed to kind of stay in this mid 20 range. So that's what I like. I like to trade when the VIX is up at the mid 20 levels because that means that our strat setups are going to go and they're going to go right away. They're not going to dilly-dally. They're not going to come back, hit our trigger, stop you out. You have to do battle a whole bunch of times. That's no fun. So VIX was just grinding into the lows. We almost hit levels that we haven't seen we did hit levels. We did hit levels that we haven't seen in 3 years. And to me, that sucks And that's also kind of like synonymous, I guess, with summertime trading, right? Like it's slow in summer, people are on vacation, yada, yada. But there's still plenty of things moving. You just have to find the things that are moving. And you can see that the VIX just hit its target. So potential exhaustion for the VIX. And as far as what to expect for next week, this is kind of important too. I wanted to talk about, I should have talked about NQ's exhaustion level. I'm sorry. Hold on. So we had this double top here, this pivot high and this pivot high. And you guys don't hear it, but in stat, I'm constantly saying double tops and double bottoms are made to be broken. And that's the goal. So this high was a little higher than this high. So this was the main target. So that was our exhaustion level. But the Qs couldn't exhaust until what? Until ES exhausted as well. We need that simultaneous break, or we need that simultaneous exhaustion to happen at the same time. Otherwise, if only one of the futures is doing it, the rest aren't likely to follow suit. So we need them all to exhaust at the same time. We need them all to trigger a simultaneous break at the same time, if that makes sense. So you'll notice NQ tried to go 2 up, 2 down on 724 week. But if you look at 724 week here, ES was still 2 up. And you can see the crosshair on the middle chart. So where I'm pointing on ES, that's the same candle that went 2 down on NQ. But ES was not going 2 down, right? ES had just hit its weekly exhaustion level and NQ had hit it the week before. So ES was lagging a little bit behind. So the Qs had to wait till ES got a weekly reversal and then they could puke. And that's exactly what happened. Also, if you are a SPY trader, and this is something I catch myself saying so much lately, if you're trading SPY or the Qs, you must be watching the correlating future. And the reason is, and so many people don't understand this, and they get caught with their pants down and stuck in a position because they didn't watch the future and they didn't see when that hit exhaustion risk. And oh man, what day was that? There was such a good example. I can't remember, but we're just going to do it real quickly on, so you see how ES took out that pivot high. Well, if you look at SPY, SPY didn't take out anything relevant, but still had a reversal. So this is why you have to be watching the futures, because they trade longer and more. So futures trade 24/5-ish, roughly. So the futures already hit their exhaustion level. They took out that pivot high, but ES didn't. So if you're SPY didn't. So if you're only watching SPY and not ES, and SPY is like the little brother to ES. ES is like Big Papa, right? Because it is the SPY, but there's more information. SPY is moving because of the way ES is moving. So if you were just looking at SPY, you would not want to take this because you're not at exhaustion, right? But if you're looking at ES, you know that the big daddy is exhausted. So you would want to take that SPY short. Give me just 1 second. I want to see if there was any questions. ICT is more complicated, and a lot of the ICT concepts are just baked in to the strat, and it's why the strat is so incredible and amazing. And I was just talking to a friend yesterday. I've been talking to a lot of strat friends recently. Um, I like to call them like the OG stratters, the people that have been around since I've been around and the ones that I trust. Um, but I'll show you what I mean. I'm trying to get a clean chart somewhere. Okay. So some of the difference in like with the strat and ICT is you don't have to know as much about price action with the strat that you do with ICT. So let's say you have a 15-minute. So pretend this is a 15-minute chart. Oh man, my OCD is going to go insane. So say you have a 15-minute pivot machine gun. And if you know what a pivot machine gun is, it means you have like 5 or more candles with a higher low. So this candle's low, and then this is higher than this low. So you just have this, right? Every single candle is a higher low, right? So we know, and the best time to take a pivot machine gun setup, the best time to take any counter trade setup is when you're at exhaustion. You don't just want to take any old pivot machine gun. You want to take it if it's at exhaustion. So let's say that this pivot machine gun hit its upside magnitude. Let's say there was like a pivot high over here, right? And then price took it out. Oh, nope. There we go. Let's say there was a pivot high over here and price took it out. So now we know we're at upside exhaustion. So all you have to know at the strat is when this upside pattern breaks, and then you get a candle that finally breaks the previous candle's low, right? But what people don't understand, remember this is a 15-minute time frame, right? So what this is on a smaller time frame is just a 5-minute uptrend, right? It has to be, because we haven't broken any candle lows. So ICT, let's say this is our last higher low here. ICT says you wait for the trend to break and break the 5-minute higher low. Then you look for an entry. Then you short right here, and then you write it down. So with the strat, you don't have to know all that. You don't have to know that this is a 5-minute uptrend, that the trend just broke, that we bounced a little. And this right here, this is Rob saying you don't have to be the first one in. Wait for a smaller time frame actionable signal, and that is why. Hey, thank you. I remember your name. Say hey, kid. So, but this is all built into the strat, right? So the strat, you know, you have a pivot machine gun up at exhaustion. You know that we're going to start looking the other way. And that's exactly what happened on Friday. If we go into Friday's price action, it probably caught a lot of people with their pants down. But if you know what you're looking for and what you're doing, and that smaller time frames can change the larger time frames, you knew exactly what happened on Friday and why it happened. So Friday, now remember, threes don't start as threes. They start as a 2 down, 2 up. So before any of this happened, we were 2 down, 2 up, going to take out this pivot high, right? So your daily trigger target, I'll fix those. Hang on. Template, target, trigger day. So in the strat, this is your 2 down, 2 up. However, you cannot just take any two down, two up. Why? Because we had the weekly in force. We had a weekly bearish actionable signal in force, which means yes, you can take it, but it's Friday. You're not about to go outside week on a Friday. It's not going to happen. Also, people like to take profit on Friday. So if you have your levels marked, and you can see we almost took out the high, but we didn't. But if you go into the smaller time frames, you're going to see pretty much what happened. What time frame was I actually using? Is it the hourly? I think it was the hourly. It doesn't matter. I think it was the 2 hour actually. It doesn't matter though. It's all showing the same story. So we had this aggressive 3 inside bar 312 up, which hit its magnitude because we know that an inside bar, the target is here, here, and here. And it failed that highest target. And then you got a reversal. But if you really look at what's happening, we had a broadening formation. So we had this high to this high, and then we just made a higher high. So even if you were long and expecting a move up to here, you still have to be careful once you make a new high of day. You always have to be careful once you make a new high of day because price can reverse. That looks bad. Hold on. It looked better on the 15-minute when I was drawing it. So you still have to be aware of the intraday price action. So when well, technically we triggered the day here and then went outside bar aggressively to the downside, then hit bottom of the broadening formation on the 15-minute time frame. And that's why we reversed here, because we hit downside exhaustion. So when we hit downside exhaustion, we know if we're short from like here, the 50% rule on this 15-minute candle, we know we're targeting here. Once we target here, that's all we know. We can't expect it to go down here. We can, but we also have to anticipate corrective activity to happen before we go and take that out. But that didn't happen. We got just a move up. We made a new high of day. Because this was the previous high of day. It's a little cleaner on the 30-minute chart, but we actually hit the line, which the line isn't really what's important. It's the price action. Let's go to the 30-minute. So once you make a new high of day, we know we're potentially exhausted, but you can't short until you get a short setup. Just because we're potentially exhausted here on the intraday time frame, it doesn't mean you can just short here. You have to have a bearish upside exhaustion setup, which occurred here. 2 up, 2 down trigger, right? And we knew we have this broadening formation. So where was price likely to go after hitting a new high of day and then getting an exhaustion reversal? And Alex pointed out, and I tweeted about it, we're going to look to make a new low of day. And then after you make a new low of day, if they keep expanding it, we're going outside day, which means we're going to take out that low. And that's exactly what we did and what happened. I feel like I lost my train of thought. But back to Strat and ICT, I guess there would have been a 5-minute market structure shift in here. And it probably would have occurred right at the trigger if I had to guess. Let's look. Yes, exactly there. So that's how come I say the strat has all this built in. Like, you don't have to understand that the 5-minute uptrend broke if you understand exhaustion risk and reversals, right? Because here's your 5-minute uptrend. That's the first time it broke. So stratters don't need to know all of that. You just have to know when you're at upside exhaustion, when you get bearish reversals, and where we're going. And then if you look at it on a 2-hour time frame, it was even more clear what happened. We went 3, 2 up, and then we got what? We got a reversal. We got a 2-hour, a 3, 2 up, 2 down reversal. What's your target in a 3, 2, 2? 3, 2 up, 2 down. What's the target? The low of the 3. Did we hit the low of the 3? Yes, we did. Did we keep expanding? Yes, we did. And that was the outside day. So kudos to Michael Huddleston and Rob Smith. Yes, I know what happened to Rob. I am not at liberty to talk about what happened to Rob unless I get permission from Skylar or Wes. I won't be talking about it. Oh, Duke, you were just in Alex and Trevin's live stream. Yeah. So you see how it's kind of like all the same stuff? Oh. Um okay. Uh for this coming up week, most of the tickers that I watch are set up for bearish weekly actionable signals, which means last week there was a bunch of like red 2 ups. And so this week we always are forward thinking, what's the next 2 most likely to be? Is it closer to going 2 up, 2 down? And the answer is yes. The problem is the futures don't have a weekly actionable signal because they all went 2 down last week, 2 up, 2 down. So if the futures continue to puke, the other thing I wanted to mention real fast, not only did the credit rating news drop right when it was supposed to at exhaustion and at a 2 up, 2 down weekly reversal. If you go to the monthly, it also happened on the flip, right? And we know that price, we're not going to reverse this big green month. The only shot we have at reversing is on a flip. And you can see as soon as we flipped, it was red from the open. So not only did they do this at exhaustion and the weekly setup, also on the monthly flip. Very important to know. And usually with hold on, month, week, day. Usually with my weekend outlook videos, I usually just kind of go through the sectors real fast and talk about their bias or direction. And we've already pretty much talked about SPY and Qs at length. But the way it's looking like, now remember, SPY didn't take out exhaustion, but ES did. So with red continuity for the month of August, we're either going to stay an inside month or we're going to try and trigger this 2 up, 2 down month, which means we're going to be heading for 437 as long as we can keep the month red, which, I mean, we're at no risk of losing that now. Where was the open? So open, the month open. So we have full time frame continuity as long as we're under that level, 456. So we have red full time frame continuity. So you're just going to want to keep looking for actionable signals that confirm the full time frame continuity, confirm the red month, and see if we can keep shorting down to 437.06, because we're not going to turn this week around unless we have some crazy earnings, which that could happen, in which we gap up and then trigger a 2 down 2 up weekly reversal. But as it stands right now, that's pretty unlikely, but it could happen. So saying that's the same story. Q's actually did take out its pivot, but we knew that because the Q's and NQ was stronger in leading, and it took out its upside level first. And so Q's, we're always asking what's the next two. We're much closer to going 2 down on the month, which means we would be heading for 363 in the next week. I would say week or two. But you want to be playing actionable signals. Actionable signals are anything bearish on your strat sheet. And I actually have a new strat sheet that I use because it's a lot less. So bearish setups are on the right side, right here. So you're either going to get an inside and down, or same here, inside and down, or a 2 up, 2 down, or a 1 bar rev strat. Those are pretty much the only bearish actionable signals that you need to be looking for. DIA, same story. We hit upside exhaustion. As soon as we took out, this is a pivot because the candle to the left of it is lower and to the right of it is lower. That makes that a pivot high. And we got a 1 bar rev strat, also in the form of a beautiful 2 up, 2 down reversal on a new week. So that was perfect. The dollar, closer to going maybe rev strat month, inside 2 down, 2 up. And we got an inside bar at downside exhaustion over here. So that's your exhaustion. This is the bullish reversal, and it hit its target. So got to see what this week brings. Weekly kind of looks like it's closer to going 2 up, 2 down, which wouldn't give you an actionable signal on the monthly. VIX, we talked about the VIX. It's potentially at upside exhaustion. So you would look for downside strat setups, which there's nothing set up for Monday. Bitcoin is not doing anything. It's just been stuck in these 2 candles for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days now. We do have, actually at, not at main exhaustion, but we do have a 3, 2 up, 2 down monthly trying to go or stay in force. And if that happens, sheesh, your target is all the way down there, which is a long way down, but that week happened quick. We'll see. Energy, also at upside exhaustion because it took out this pivot high on the monthly, and you have a potential for a 2 up, 2 down week next week, and you have a potential daily actionable signal to trigger the weekly. So if you go 2 up, 2 down, you could trigger that. And then I would target like at least this gap fill area. Gold, the 3, 2 down, 2 up failed last month. So not looking super bullish this month for gold. Eventually, I think this year we see a new all-time high on gold, but not this month. XLU just triggered a bearish monthly rev strat. 1, 2 up, 2 down, hit target 1. Target 1 is also a quarterly trigger. If I go to the quarterly, we just triggered the double inside quarter and down. So anytime we're below 63.93, you're going to be targeting, that's not a lot, 63.38. And then there's a big gap, big range till you hit your next target, but I would probably look for smaller time frame targets. And all you really got is that one, and it's not a main target, so I make those 1 thickness, and main targets are 2 thickness. XLP, this is just gross a bit. We did hit upside exhaustion back here, but you can see we're stuck in this from this high to this low, and then that's where broadening formations tend to start over as price discovery takes hold. But you'll also notice the 3, 2 down, 2 up failed last month. So bearish bias here. Same thing, upside exhaustion last month when we took out the pivot high target, and then last week you got your 2 up, 2 down reversal at exhaustion. So that was actionable for sure because you were at exhaustion. XLF, I just don't like anything about it, really. It's just kind of stuck. So I don't even want to talk about it. Same with this. This actually didn't break that high. It didn't break the high by 4 cents. It was stupid. It should have, but it didn't. So no strong bias in that direction either. Beautiful. So this is what we talk about all-time high exhaustion risk. So this was the previous all-time high. What is this? XLI. So the industrials, this was the previous all-time high, which we just hit a new all-time high in July. Okay. Then what happened? We got a monthly flip. So we know just because we hit a new all-time high, we know again, it's at potential exhaustion. It doesn't mean we can short. We have to have an actionable signal to short. And you got it last week with the 1 bar rev strat. Also a 2 up, 2 down on the day to complete the outside week. But so now you have a failed 2 up. And the thing about failed 2 ups, just like what happened here, this used to be a red 2 up and then it went outside. So the target for this by the end of the month would be 105.34. So the target is to become an outside month because we're at upside exhaustion. So you can just keep looking for daily or weekly actionable signals until you get to your target. This is just... So XLY is at upside exhaustion, and we have a 2 up, 2 down month, but it's not in force. So you can't short it unless we're below 168.37. And if we stay above it and then we flip green, you have a potential outside month target. So if this goes 3, 2 up next week, you would hit your upside target at 177.80, most likely. And that would be a 3-2 reversal. Because the 3 is red, but to go 2 up, the 2 would have to be green. So a red 3 and a green 2 up is a reversal. You just got to keep practicing. Nakia, keep studying. XLK, beautiful all-time high exhaustion risk. So July, again, was the month that we made a new all-time high. So boom, all-time high exhaustion risk. However, the first reversal after exhaustion risk failed. And that's because the market wasn't ready to puke that week. So I guess market correlation kept that from falling apart. And then this week it just fell apart. Kind of re-triggered that level. But we're about to go 2 up, 2 down on the month. And your monthly strat target would be here at 163, which is also like a little double bottom on the daily right there. So if the monthly goes in force, that would be your target. Almost done. Yay. This is just chop shop. Just gross. Just bleh. Let's see. See the quarterly? Just double inside quarter. We'd prefer it to the upside because we just took out previous pivot lows. So this would be like the bottom of our Browning formation, and we would like to start expanding it up. But until we can break above 90, 91, that's not happening. And you can see they tried to buy it up last month, but then again, we got a flip and they're selling this month. So just chop shop. You can see the tightening range. You got lower highs and higher lows. That's your tightening range. That's your double inside quarter. It's just all about training your eyes. SMH, same thing. Just like some of the other ones were, like XLK, it's like the same exact chart. All-time high exhaustion risk after we hit and took out 159.41 in July. We're not turning July's bright green candle around, so the only time that can happen is on the flip. Same story, you got a 1-bar rev strat. Same story, you got slight higher highs 4 weeks in a row that didn't go anywhere. That should have been a clue, right? The upside isn't working. And then you got your 50% rule on the week. You could have shorted somewhere around here or found a smaller time frame actionable signal after you saw that the highs were failing. We're most likely going to go take out the lows. And then you can see they actually, not only did they go outside bar, they also took out that candle's low. So on the weekly, it's just that, but on the daily, it's an important pivot low. So they took out that too. And this is set up for bearish Monday because you got a 2 up. So we know the only reversals after a 2 up could be a 2 down. So you're closer to going 2 down, especially because this 2 up failed. Didn't do anything, didn't hit target. So now Monday, you'd be looking for the 2 down to trigger a 3-2 continuation week and hopefully trigger the month. Okay, let me go. My voice is, I haven't talked this much in months, probably. Ooh. And thank you guys for coming. This live stream, I feel like, was a lot easier. I knew it would be. I don't know why. I just knew it would be easier with you guys here. Question. A lot of people here from Alex and Trevin's stream, which is cool. Oh, cool. A fellow St. Louisan. Strat is awesome if you understand all the principles. You can't just try and trade the sheet. I tell people that all the time. If you're just trying to trade the sheet, you're going to get murdered. You're going to get killed. You're going to lose. because you don't know what the higher time frames are doing. You don't know if you have a reason to take this or not. You have to know. You have to know it. You have to know when you're at exhaustion risk. You have to know if you have a higher time frame actionable signal also in force. And something I've been teaching my premium members over at Stat, I started talking about a take action window, which just really helps people visualize the entry and the target when they start going down on a smaller time frames. I do recommend people use a 3 time frame layout, but if they're not going to, then they need to use the take action window, because so many people only want to use like 1 time frame, and I feel like that is a big hindrance because you can't see the big picture. Because like if I'm only looking at this time frame, I might not know that we're at the all-time highs because I'm so focused on just this, right? And it's very important to know when you're at exhaustion. But if you're not using like the monthly chart, you're not going to know that. Are you going to scroll back on the daily chart all the way, 2 years ago? No, people aren't going to do it. And that's why we encourage people to use different time frames. You have to see like what's really going on here. And like I said, if you're not, you have to like go like this forever. Like no, we don't got time for all that. So just use multiple time frames. Okay, back to like the take action window. Trying to get, okay, I know one. This is not a great example, but hold on, let me just get a better example. I'll find one. Right here, okay. So what is the take action window? It's your magnitude. What is magnitude? Your profit potential from your trigger to your target, right? So here is a 2 up, 2 down reversal. We know our trigger. We know our target. Now, I always encourage people to label what these lines are. Otherwise, you're going to get kind of lost. So I have these little templates set up and everything's color coordinated. All my weeklies are orange. All my monthlies are pink. All my quarters are like turquoise. All my dailies are white. So I don't even have to use these labels. I just know what the color means. But so what I tell people with the take action window, this could be any time frame. I don't care what time frame it is, as long as you have a reason to be shorting it, you can short it. But the take action window is simply this. So you know that on a 2 up, 2 down reversal, your target is the bottom of the previous 2, right? So here's your higher time frame setup. So when you get into the smaller time frame setups, you don't get lost. So you know that if you're in your little gray window, that you can be taking bearish actionable setups, right? So, oh man. You can even go to an hourly. There's no end to how you can trade the strat. Okay, so here's your weekly setup. So it triggered right here, went down a little bit, might have stopped you out. That's going to happen sometimes. You're going to have to learn how to do battle if you're going to do this. So you know that if you're in this gray area, your weekly is in force and you haven't hit your target yet. That's all that this box is trying to solidify in your brain. because people will love to take a weekly actionable signal and then price is trading all the way up here. And they're like, but the weekly is in force. I'm like, no, it's not. It's only enforced if you're below that line. So some people didn't understand that. So the point and the goal with this box is you're only allowed to hit the sell button if you're in this box. Period. It has to be enforced. And then again, you just look for bearish setups. And then you can go through and label them. You can back test. This is how you properly back test. You find your higher time frame actionable signal, and then you go to the smaller time frames and you find the setups. This was a really good one, actually. So you had a bearish rev strat entry here. You had a 2 up, 2 down here, which would have been hard because that was a new day. It gapped down. But if you were in from here, you had nothing to worry about. You had a 2 1 2 down. That's a bearish actionable signal. You had another 2 1 2 down right there. 2 down, 2 down, 2 down, gap down, boom, target hit, done. So the take action window, that was a really good example. That was not cherry picked. I just happened to see it. But that's how you do it. And this is how I tell people to do their homework. Mark your higher time frame actionable signal and then go down to smaller time frames. I don't care what they are. If it's a daily actionable signal, like if you're using the daily time frame, a 2 up, 2 down, I'll tell people to use the 15, 30, and 60. Find me the actionable signals in your daily take action window. And then that's how they study. Yeah. So Duke, that's what Rob always says. You don't have to be the first one in. I have a great example of that. Hold on. AI. This is so fire. Just watch. Okay. Let's make this big. All right. AI, we know, is all the rage, right? Right. So we had an inside month last month. And I know that personally at Stat, we were all very excited about this. However, okay, so say I had an alert set here to trigger for the alert to go off when we triggered the 212 up, because we all know the actionable signal on an inside bar is a break of the inside bar, and we're targeting right here. So that's the 212 up on the monthly. Now, I'm telling you, this is such a great example of you don't have to be the first one in, and we use lower time frame actionable signals to reconfirm what we know about the higher time frames. So, first of all, where's your take action window? That's your take action window. That's your profit potential. Entry, target. Okay. Now, we use daily setups to trigger monthly setups or to reconfirm. And reconfirm means we're just in the take action window. So if we have a daily bullish setup and we're in this gray box, we're going to take it because we know we're in force on the month and we know we haven't hit our target yet. So that's all fine and good. But what happened on the daily? The daily triggered the monthly on 2 up continuation. This is not at all where a seasoned stratter is going to be going long. And why is that? Because our higher time frame triggers are our lower time frame targets. And we know this. Well, not everybody knows this, but you should if you're really, really, really a student of the strat and you're really, really, really using multiple time frames. Oh, it finally did. Good. Okay. So these 2 days took out that candle's high. This candle's high puts you at the top of a daily broadening formation. We are not entering monthly setups on daily continuation. That's the worst possible time to enter a long. Okay, we would wait. We would just know, hey, AI triggered the monthly 212 up. We're going to keep it on watch. So let's say the next day shook out all the longs, which it did, shook out all the longs that got in on the monthly actionable signal, so you don't have to be the first one in. We would have entered, like, say this day. Say this day. I need to turn my magnet off. So we closed down here, but say we like gapped up, opened, and then we went 2 down, 2 up. You better believe we'd be going long right there to trigger or re-trigger or reconfirm the month. But that is not what happened. And then we also know that we have this top of our broadening formation. We're looking for the bottom of it. And we did take out this low, which could be good enough. It doesn't necessarily have to take out this low, which I kind of wanted it to because it seemed like the most obvious low. But we did just stop out any longs who were long with their stop down there. So this could potentially be the bottom of our broadening formation. It's a little hard to see, but we did make a lower low. I'll just draw it like that so it looks a little more obvious. However, now we're really close to going outside month. And again, you're not going to see all this stuff if you're not looking at all the time frames. And what is an outside month? Oh my God, there's so much. An outside month starts as a failed 2 up. This is a failed 2 up because it's not above the trigger and it's red. So this is kind of where the 50% rule comes into play. You take out one side of the range, it fails. Actually, the moment it does fail, you can, in the back of your mind, be thinking, hey, this failed. We're probably going to go outside month. So now we're much closer to just going outside month in the direction of full time frame continuity, because now we have a red month, we have a red week, we have a red day, we have a red 2 up week. So we're closer now to going 2 up, 2 down on the week and actually hitting that outside week target, or sorry, outside month target. And again, you are not going to see all this stuff if you're not using all the time frames. So now we're actually targeting outside month for AI. You probably can't short shares, but they have options. IV is a bit juiced though, just because it's like a hype sector. So yeah, something I wanted to just mention because we're trying to, I don't know, just do something fun where I work at Stat, and it's the weekly options contest. I'm trying to pull it up. And it's just a fun contest where you can go, it's only 1 week out, so you can pick you pick next week's Friday expiration, and you pick your ticker and strike, and if it's a call or a put. So for instance, A. Langer, he was just the first one to submit an entry this week. He picked the 35 AI puts, and just because we were talking about, he knows we're going for outside month magnitude. So that's why he picked that for his contest entry. And it's just fun. It's like a fun, friendly contest. But the winner every week gets a free month to Stat, which is cool. People really like it. So yeah, it's just fun. What the heck is the website? Oh, it's contest. They're gonna kill me if I don't make that a point to say contest.stratalerts.com. And it's super easy to sign up. I have an entry. This is my first week I've ever done one. Josh got mad. Josh is the one who created this. He's a mod at Stat, but he made a beautiful website and people love it. And it's just, I don't know, it's a fun time. It's something to do. A lot of friendly competition going on. What's that called when you like, oh my gosh. What is that called when you like dog on the other part? I don't know. It's not even the word. Never mind. Don't mind my brain. Put it, oh. Good idea. Let's see. Somebody said put it in the chat. Copy. Let's see if this works. Oh, it worked. Oh, like trash talking. I think that's what I was trying to get at. Fair value gaps. Yeah, those are cool. I enjoy them. For instance, we got a big one on ES Monthly right here. And we got a lot of stuff going on. We got a volume imbalance here. Oops. All kinds of stuff. All kinds of reasons to want to pull back lower. Except the weekly. We don't have like weekly actionable signals, but kind of looks like we got a basically an ICT market maker sell model happening here. Yep, that too. I don't want to get too into ICT talks, but yeah. $43.27 is the halfway point of that gap. Fair value gap. Don't worry about it, Strat people, though. You don't need to know all that because that is built into your targets on like smaller time frames anyway. And I would love to go take out a weekly pivot low because we've had a nice weekly uptrend this whole time. Nobody's been stopped out. So if you had like a PSAR, parabolic stop and reverse, or a EMA, it's going to be sloping up the whole time. Nobody's been stopped out. And that's where our broadening formations come into play because longs have nothing to worry about because their trend is still intact, right? So we want to see that break, and that would happen right here because this is the last little pullback. So retail or like people who have their stops based on uptrends, they're going to have their stops there. It's just how it is. People are taught to put that's the uptrend. That's the last pullback. So that's where people's stops are. So I would love for us to go and run that. And then that's also our monthly actionable signal short. So that's why I said if we keep confirming time frame continuity and keep looking for bearish actionable signals down, then I would love for us to hit that. What do we have for earnings this week? I know Elaine said it's another big earnings week. All these. Palantir on Monday after close. Lucid on Monday after close. I'll never forget the Upstart. What do they do? What does the company do? Oh, sorry, you're cutting out. It's just funny. I respect Mark, however you say his last name, Minervini. I watched him at the FinTwit conference, actually. And you can't tell me that people that have been doing this for 30 years shouldn't be respected, because that's crazy talk. Just because they don't trade the strat doesn't mean, I mean, there have been successful traders long before there have been the strat. So don't get all close-minded. The real Abby. Sorry, I'm not Abby. My daughter hijacked my YouTube. Yeah, consequent encroachment is just a fancy term. Duke answered you though. The halfway point of a fair value gap is all. And so far, the futures are opening. They're open in red. RTY or slash IWM is potentially going outside day, which right now we have weekly and daily time frame continuity, because they tried to go two up, two down. Granted, there was no magnitude, but it failed anyway. So that is your like ICT manipulation. So they took out people's stops, because a daily low is just going to be like an hourly pivot low. So you see here, that's the day here. Let me delete that. That's the magnitude box I'm about to delete. But do you see how they swept the lows? So that's your manipulation. And what do we know about stuff like that is that's potentially the bottom of our broadening formation, and then they're going to go and attempt to take out the highs. But a lot can happen overnight and before we open in the morning. But if you look at the 4-hour, you got a bullish rev strat setting up. There's only an hour left in this candle. So we know that we just took out the lows. So that was the downside objective, right? So when this candle went 212 down, this was a fully red candle and it hit its downside target. So again, that means you're at potential downside risk, because we took out a main pivot. This would be like a bonus target. Well, and then ICT traders might have turtle souped that, which just means basically buying the support break. But again, don't worry about it. You would have seen a strat reversal happen. So let's see. Goo, that happened in one 5-minute candle. That was a big 5-minute candle. That was the open, but let's look at the 1 minute. Also, huge 1 minute candle. I mean, you could have turtle souped that when it wicked up back through, but whew. So yeah, so let's see if they go outside day. And when the 4-hour flips in 55 minutes, your actionable signal is going to be whatever the high of this candle ends up being. Again, we have a whole hour left. So it could be that, or it could go higher. I don't know. But then the actionable signal is a break above the last 4-hour candle, targeting that for your outside day magnitude. Broadening formation. The contest is an options contest. So regardless of what you trade, loyal net, you still would have to pick a ticker and a strike. But yeah, you can play. And yeah, exactly. So Johnny said, as Jermaine would say, for the kids in the back, the Strat dumbed it all down and took the noise out of the market. And that's all the Strat does, is it just simplifies price action. And that's all we're all trading is price action. So that's all it is. It's just a simplified version. And we know that the daily failed 2 down, couldn't stay in force, only stayed in force for less than a minute. So if you were in that for longer than a minute, you're holding on to a losing position and is green. So you got weekly, daily, trying to go outside day. So your candle would look like that. If it stays trading above this candle's open, it's gotta be green. It's gotta stay green. Otherwise, you're not going outside day, are ya? 6? I've never heard of that ticker. Oh, 6 Flags. I didn't even know this traded. Hold on, don't tell me. Let me guess your strike. 22 puts. You been? Huh. I'll have to ask Josh. I'll tell him that 6 didn't work. I'm gonna screenshot your thing. Hold on. Josh is the contest creator, organizer, whatever person in charge. No, I'm not doing chart requests. There's been about 50 that have been asked. I'm not doing all that tonight. So, yeah, I've just had a really shitty year, and it kind of got me out of my routine, and I'm just trying to come back. And like I was mentioning in the beginning of this live stream is, Rob wanted more than anything for the Strat to continue on, and he got his little army and he held me in high regards. So as much as I want to sit in my feelings and be sad and feel sad and just try and survive the best I can, I have a duty and a responsibility to him and to the Strat community to pick up where he left off and get back on the horse and start making videos. And I'm so thankful for all of you that are here tonight. Like I said, I had a really rough year. I think I only made one video after my breakup. I was with my boyfriend for almost 4 years, and that suddenly ended, and it kind of wrecked me. And I think I've only made one video since, and this is the only other one that I've made, I think. And just to have you guys here with me, it means a lot. I live at home now by myself. My daughter left. She moved out So it's like just me and, you know, without people that rely on me, I don't know, like all of a sudden for the first time in my life, I'm like finding it very hard to get myself motivated and to want to do anything. I just want to be sad. But I don't want to be sad. So this is also like the way out of that. So I'm trying. And then, oh my gosh, then Rob's celebration of life is this Saturday. So I have to drive up there. I don't know how, like what days I'm going to go, how long I'm going to stay. I don't know any of that. I probably won't trade this week either. I want to get that list of Rob-isms together. I've been sending Skylar videos and photos of me and Rob. And if you guys have any videos or photos, I made a tweet about it. You can send Skylar an email or a text with your video or picture or funny story or whatever you want to tell her. She really appreciated that. And I look forward to meeting any of you who are going to get to make it up there. And honestly, I just can't wait till next year. But, yep, day by day. Exactly right. They'll get better. I know they'll get better. It's just this part that sucks, you know. Everybody goes through this. Everybody goes through hard times, and it is what it is. It's life. It hasn't broken me yet, so I'm still here. Yeah, well, just keep on keeping on. And, like I said, I don't know if I told you guys this or not. I don't know. But, there's like I feel like a core group of Stratters, and I'm very close with them, and I respect them very, very much, not only as traders, but as human beings. Um, and I like to say that I'm really picky with my trades and my setups, but I am just as picky with the people that I allow in my life, that I share things with, that I give my time to, that I talk to. And that circle is very small, but they're amazing. And, we have some amazing traders in the Strat community, and that's good, but they might be crazy human beings, and I just don't vibe with them, and that's fine. Like, we're not all gonna, like each other, and we don't have to, but we have to be respectful to one another, and that's all it is. Be respectful, be a community. I just want everybody to come together. I don't want snakes coming in and, like, I don't even know, like, getting it in their heads that they're going to steal the Strat crown, and, they need to be seen as number one, and everybody else is liars or paper traders or whatever. Like, just people's actions speak so much louder than their words. So I just ask you guys and tell you guys, please just pay attention to people. Pay attention to their actions. Pay attention to the things that they say and then the things that they do. And gravitate towards who you believe is honest and humble and has pure intentions, who, genuinely want to help you. Just stay close to those people. And it doesn't even have to be, like a quote unquote leader. It could be a friend that you find just in the community. And I loved Jermaine's little battle buddy podcast. Just have that person that you can talk to and confide in and, share in this trading journey with, because it can get lonely, it can get hard, and people that aren't traders don't understand the struggle and the battle that you go through with yourself. So It's just so important to have that person. Okay. I think I need a break. I'm getting all emotional again. But again, thank you guys for being here. It was so awesome to have you here. We do this stuff together. We do it as a team, and I just thank you guys for showing up for me. It means a lot. And I will see you on Twitter, and if you guys come to Chicago, I look forward to meeting you there as well. All right, I gotta go.